Welcome to Business Connection. I'm Liz Spencer. I have a wonderful guest in studio with me. It's Allison Norton. She's the marketing director from Outsource Solutions Group, and she's someone you should know. I'm just going to jump right in, and I want you to tell me what are business owners doing wrong with their IT? I know I'm doing a lot of things wrong. I'm here to make a list.
Okay, well, I think there's a lack of planning or there's a lack of business strategy concerning IT as an investment. I think businesses are not properly budgeting to use their IT effectively as a tool to both expand and protect their business. The old adage of if it ain't broke, why fix it is just not sufficient. I mean, competitors are fierce in my market, and I'm sure they are for the hundreds of small businesses located here in Naperville. So it's my job to help my customers get a leg up on the competition, streamlining processes and increasing their business profits.
Well, I totally agree with you that we are completely not budgeting for it because it's an expense. It's something we just don't want to think about. But tell me, how do you, I mean, you said it yourself, there's a lot of competition out there. So how do you differ from the other IT firm that's trying to get my attention?
Oh, that's a great question. I think that's the number one question our sales professionals are asked all day long. How are we different than the hundreds of IT companies out there? And when I think about it, you know, a piece of hardware is a piece of hardware. A server is a server. Desktop is a desktop. And I think anyone can fix an issue. So we are in the business of solving business problems, just utilizing IT. Which brings me to a really great story, proud moment for me and Outsource is when a president of a company, local here in Naperville, called to thank me. And he originally hired us to fix a printer issue. It was seemingly easy. His salesperson could not print from their quotes application. So I sent out one of my professionals, one of my team, to go out there, and he asked a series of questions out there and just found out it wasn't really a printer issue that they were having. He just uncovered a much bigger issue. Their quoting team was not able to get out quotes in a timely fashion. And so we shored it up from a 2-day process to a 1-day process. So that enabled them to experience more sales in Q3 than they had over the past 2 years. So what sets me apart is the team of professionals that I have. And so they eat, sleep, and drink business solutions, and they really just eat printer issues for snacks in between meals.
Well, it does always seem to start with that printer issue and evolve.
It definitely evolves, but we're trained to ask the appropriate questions, and we really do uncover what the real issue might be.
Well, and what would you say, you know, we're evolving so much with technology, what would you say are some of the biggest threats to IT that we're not thinking about?
There are some big threats out there, and I think there is an emotional attachment to the old way of doing business.
It's just comfortable.
It's comfortable, but technology today far surpasses that of the old. And there's a great example of that. You know, Microsoft is discontinuing support for XP.
I'm in trouble.
Right. We were talking about that earlier. And Office 2003.
Okay.
And what that means is happening in April of next year.
Okay.
So no more patches, no more updates, no more support. So businesses still utilizing these programs have potentially a serious security risk on their hands.
You're going to help us get through that with some type of great solution, I'm sure.
Well, it's our job to help customers transition through processes like this easily and seamlessly as possible, because change can be difficult.
Well, change is scary, I think, and this goes back to your assessment off the top that we don't plan ahead enough. So knowing that you know things are going to outdate on us is a great way for you to help us by looking at us. Walk me through a typical day for one of your pros at Office Outsource Solution Group. If I'm calling you, what's going to happen?
Our day is very busy, but it's very focused and very synchronized. So I just man the battle stations. We have a service manager, we have a dispatcher, we have remote team, and we have a field support team. And they are all using a very sophisticated piece of software that helps us manage, monitor, and maintain hundreds of customers' networks. And then they are doing lots of documentation, and then they're proactively talking to customers all day long.
Thinking back to your first point about planning ahead and budgeting for everything, and me having an XP laptop, I often think, what should I be doing with the cloud? That seems to be the latest, greatest thing, and what's it all about?
Well, cloud is simply the use of technology that businesses don't have to invest in the in-house infrastructure for. They're gaining access to their applications using the internet on somebody else's servers and data centers. And the cloud can be useful. We find there are a lot of companies out there sending the message to business owners that the cloud is going to solve all their IT problems and it's going to be far less expensive. Where we do assist customers getting to the cloud, we find that by no stretch of the imagination is it easier or less expensive. There's a small percentage of companies where it does make sense to migrate them completely to the cloud, but we find the vast majority have the initial temptation to go to the cloud. But after we do the cost analysis, we find that the total cost of ownership doesn't make sense for them. So, well, we migrate maybe one or none based on that data.
Okay. And you're talking about an analysis in that if I am a small or medium-sized business and I'm interested in your solutions, what's the first step? What do I do to get in contact with you and get moving on that?
Well, the first thing I tell everybody is get an assessment of your network.
And you do that?
It's not an expensive endeavor, and we do it for free because you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And if everything comes back perfect, then you can sleep better. And since we do this for free, you can just give me a call anytime in my office. I'm always there.
You're always there because you guys eat, breathe, and sleep this.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that's great. I think that is a wonderful thing. I can't imagine why small businesses and medium-sized businesses aren't taking you up on this because, we all need to be much more planning ahead for our technology. Thanks for stopping by, Allison. We're going to be right back with more Business Connections. Stay tuned.